Welcome everyone to another edition of Stepping Up to the Plate. So glad you could join us. It's playoff time here in Boston and New England, and so much to be excited about. With the Bruins winning an epic Game 7 at the Garden. It's a pasta party with David Pastrnak scoring an unbelievable slick overtime goal to revive the Bruins' floundering hopes of advancing to the next round. And then, of course, we've got the Celtics, the barn-burning Celtics, who are has everyone excited about their chances. And they made mincemeat of the Miami Heat. How about that for alliteration, Al? In the first round, and now they're on to the second round, where they had a very impressive second round victory. Actually, the Eastern Conference semifinals over the Cleveland Cavaliers. So
yeah, they took the swords away from the Cavaliers.
yeah. Here's my main man, Al Prizzuti. Al, thanks so much for joining us here. And before we get started, I wanted to give a shout out to the Milton High softball team, 11-0 right now, and ranked, I believe, number 18 in the latest Globe Top 20 poll. Congratulations to the Wildcats, who had a big win at home just recently against Newton North, come from behind win. And then, of course, I want to give a shout out to the Milton High rugby team. No, not rugby team, excuse me, boys lacrosse team, who had a big win against Natick recently. And Luke Hartford with 5 goals, Al. Unbelievable. So congratulations to those two teams, and we hope to get out there to see you, watch you compete out there, and you make us proud, and we'll be loud. All righty. At any rate, so Al, playoff season is upon us. We've got the draft behind us. You know, the Red Sox, they're kind of, I think they're holding water right now, dealing with some injuries.
Good pitching.
It is, yeah, and they got to deal with the pitching.
I mean, well, they got good pitching. I mean, let's be honest about it. They would not be where they are based on their hitting. They're winning on pitching. And last night's game, I mean, it was 2-2.
Yeah.
Bases loaded. Durant strikes out. All he had to do is hit a fly ball, and it's 3-2 because there was only one out at the time. He struck out, and then, I hate to say it, but Dev is either something's wrong with him, he's hurt, or they overpaid for this kid because he comes up with the bases loaded and he strikes out. I mean,
Al, when you have an oblique injury like he had, I think it was
maybe
something's going to be lingering.
Maybe he shouldn't be in the lineup.
Yeah.
You know, the point is, when you have to hit, you can talk about this forever and argue about this forever, but clutch hitting is the name of the game in baseball. And you had guys historically came up in clutch situations and delivered.
Yeah.
And you had other guys who came up in clutch situations who didn't deliver.
Well, one of your favorites, David Ortiz, was that guy,
Oh, yeah, X the steroids. But anyways, so I think the Red Sox are playing decent ball. Now tonight, Sale's pitching.
Yeah.
And if you read, Cora came out and said, you know what? One of the nicest and the greatest players that I've ever managed.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I mean, but he threw it out there. He said this guy should get an ovation when he returns to Fenway.
For sure.
If and when he does. I mean, he's got a 3.4 ERA.
Well, let's not forget that he was a guy that closed out that World Series.
I think
came out and
we
delivered.
Forget because the only things that matter here.
Or what have you done for me lately?
Yeah. And he had the bicycle. He had some crazy stuff happen.
Right.
That people just go, how could you be on a bicycle if like that type of. Yeah. Jim Lomborg did the same thing with the Red Sox.
I mean, and some unfortunate things happen to him. He gets hit on the hand when he's in the middle of a comeback, and that set him back.
But they're not an interesting team to watch because other than I like this kid O'Neill. I like him a lot.
Yes, Al.
He can hit.
Yeah.
I mean, when he hit the ball last night, he hit a rope.
Yeah.
When I say to left field, I mean the left fielder was going to get it. He hits the ball very hard.
Yeah.
And far.
Yes.
And he's pretty well built.
Pretty big cat.
And I think if you look at that team, you go, where did they get this guy? Where did they get this guy? I mean, this Cooper. I mean, he don't look like he'd be the guy that would be an everyday ball player.
But he is.
Smith doesn't look like he'd be an everyday ball player. Maybe they will be at some point. But if you're playing the Woo Sox at a major league level, you're going to have to get
They
great
got
pitching.
to allow some of these prospects that are coming up in the pipelines to mature. I think that's what they're doing with this kid Marcelo Mayer. You know, they're managing his promotion.
Yeah, but
you know,
they
you
move
got-
him up, and he's not doing what he did in Double-A and Triple-A. He's playing a little better, and I think he's a future for them.
For sure.
The kid Raphael.
Rafael, yeah.
How do you give a kid like that $50 million, whatever it was? I mean, they gave him an extraordinary amount of dollars for
Because
somebody who's never shown.
He's shown it already. I think at the at AAA.
I don't want it at AAA to
But-
pay that kind of money.
But you don't want to lose him, Al.
Well,
Basically.
I guarantee
But you know what, Al?
too much money for him.
Well, Al, come on.
Too much
now.
money for Devers.
Come
too.
on now. Let's go back. Let's turn the pages back. They had Mookie Betts under their control and could have paid him what he wanted and what was fair market,
I
and
think
he
it
would
was
still
a
be
mistake.
here.
No question, it was a mistake.
John Lester, they could have done the same thing.
You know,
And
less.
you know what?
Less.
Less, yeah.
Mookie Betts is a
John
player.
Lester. You know, these guys. You know, Xander Bogaerts. Now,
No, he's
you
not
could have
playing
passed
that
on him,
well.
but still, homegrown talent, Al. These are guys that they just shed, you know, and they're gonna and now they're gonna turn around and come back. Even the guys that were here temporarily, like Justin Turner, Kyle Schwarber, you know, Mitch Moreland, they brought back, you know.
Look at the kid that they got for Mookie Betts.
Verdugo.
He's turning the.
He's lighting it up in New York.
Exactly.
Career high 4 RBI.
He's
the
not
other
only
night.
lighting it up, but he's playing good defense. The kid was a
But
decent
you know what?
ball player.
He looked to be a little bit of a head case too, though. Towards the end there, you know.
Maybe it was
And then-
a clash between him and Cora. I don't know.
Well, you know, the thing is that he liked to come in when he wanted to come in. So, but at any rate, mildly surprised, shocked by the way the Sox are going, given all the
Yeah.
injuries they've had,
Yeah.
especially to their pitching out.
The pitching has been terrific.
Yeah.
And you know, and when I watch the games, like I watched the game last night, some of it because I was flipping, but the pitching's not the problem.
It's the hitting.
Last night was clutch hitting. I mean,
Yeah,
bases
yeah.
loaded, 1 out, 2-2.
Yeah.
You expect at least a fly ball.
Yeah. And even if Duran draws a walk there, right?
All he had to do was hit a
get on base.
medium fly ball
Or
to
even if
center
he can
field
get
or
on
right
base,
field.
he's a threat.
Yeah, well, he's up at bat. So, I mean, look, at that point, you need either a fly ball. You don't want a strikeout.
No.
Because a ground ball in a certain position is going to bring a guy in from third.
Yeah.
And they're going to let that guy come in because if you lose him, they've still got the bases loaded if they don't get the play at the plate.
Well, for the next couple of weeks, they're going to be operating in a vacuum over there at Fenway because, you know, all eyes are going to be on TD Garden, where almost every night, Al, it's like, you know, a sportsman's dream where you're going to have, you know, Bruins one night, Celtics one night, Bruins one night, Celtics one night.
Well, I
you
watched
know.
the Celtics last night, and you know, Porzingis is not in the lineup, and they didn't need him, okay, because they're playing a team that's not a bad team,
no,
but
they're overmatched, Al.
they're clearly overmatched. But I'll tell you, kudos not so much to Jaylen Brown, because Jaylen Brown is like this. One day,
Well,
he's a terrific
streaky.
player. He can be a little streaky. Jason Tatum, though, every night if you look, even though he had, 22 points last night or whatever it was, he always leads the team in rebounds.
Yes,
And he's
Al.
not the center.
And
assists.
and assists.
He's a player. He had
And
6
he
assists.
defends,
I think
Al.
he had 12 rebounds, and he had 22 points. Now, White, I mean, this kid in 3 games,
I don't know why he's not an all-star this year.
he should be an all-star. I mean, he shoots he was 7 for 10 from 3.
He rescued them and he put them. I think he separated them from the Heat in that series.
Oh, yeah.
Where you know the Heat were really severely undermanned.
Yeah, the
and
Heat
then-
with
and-
Jimmy Butler would have been a closer series. It might have won 7.
So when the Heat came out, and I think in the only win that they had like a career high 23
well, second game, too.
3-pointers. They set a franchise record in that. You know, Joe Mazzulla rightly came back and said, okay, we're going to run them off the line. We're not going to let them take those shots. And they didn't. And they came out and they guarded hard. And that's the thing I love about these Celtics, Al, is they guard you hard. They make everything hard for you. And you know what? Sometimes games are going to be, they're not going to be all Picasso's, Al. These things are going to be Jackson Pollocks, where you're going to be like throwing it up against the wall. You're going to be getting down to the nitty gritty, And
Cornette had a good game last night. Let's throw him in there. I mean, he comes in well, he wasn't just.
Al Horford had a game.
Oh, 7 points. Al Horford for a guy his age, he does what he has to do.
Luke Cornette had a game.
Cornette had a big game. But you know what?
But they can win. They can win on a night. Here's the thing. Here's the message I think they succeeded in sending, not just to the rest of the teams left in the Eastern Conference Finals, including the Cavs, is that, man, our star player wasn't playing his best last night, and we still killed you.
Yeah.
We still managed to find a way to kill you.
I think the key for the Celtics to win the championship is if Denver keeps losing.
Oh, Al.
They lost
but
again.
But you know what? Don't go to sleep on Minnesota.
I'm not.
Don't go to sleep on Anthony Edwards,
to me,
Al.
if I'm playing Denver Celtics, that's a matchup. You got two big guys.
They're down 2-0 now.
I know.
Going to Minnesota.
I know.
And you know what? Minnesota got my attention early on when they played the Celtics. And the Celtics had a tough time puncturing the interior of their defense because of Rudy Gobert.
But after you get by this series, which they will, I think, then it gets a little more dicey.
Yeah, it
does.
Because
the teams are better.
The
closer you get to the end.
The team laying in wait in the other Eastern Conference semifinal will likely be the Knicks.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good.
They're a good team.
They're a really good team.
They're a good team, but the Celtics are superior. If you were to ask all the guys, the pundits, everybody thinks the Celtics are going to win. Everybody.
Well, if they can close these guys out.
Except for Denver. Maybe they'll go.
If they can close these guys out, Al, that gives Porzingis the time to be ready for the finals.
I can't see this team winning more than one game. Cleveland, they just don't have.
Oh, I don't think they're going to win at all.
Well, they might win one. You never know. Look at.
Well,
I didn't think Miami was going to win one.
I don't think the Celtics are going to give up a home court game here to them. But at any rate, excited about the Celtics. Excited about their prospects right now, and even more so now, I'm energized. I'm re-energized by the Bruins, who have game 2 against the Florida Panthers down in Sunrise, Florida. What a whirlwind 24 hours for the Bruins. What a whirlwind 24 hours for Brandon Carlo, who had a baby boy on the heels of that epic Game 7 win Saturday night.
Yeah, I think a little too much was made of that. I mean, it's a big deal, meaning what he did. The Bruins, the Jacob family got him a private plane, flew him home to Colorado, and then flew him back. He just made it back by 6 o'clock. I mean, Brandon Carlo is one of my favorites because he does what I think the Bruins need.
I know that you love him. Yeah.
Let's go back a little with this Bruins team. Toronto was, in my opinion, in 5 or 6 of the games, the better team.
Yeah.
And the Bruins continue to have the same kind of problems in that they can't get out of the zone and they can't win face-offs. You can't win, they won't continually win if they do that. Now, if you look at that game the other night, it was 1-1 and it goes to overtime. Now, I'm not going to say it because I hate saying it, but I had 2 or 3 phone calls and they asked me what I thought, and I said, I think they're going to lose. The reason why I thought they were going to lose is they've lost more games in overtime, more close games, more shootouts than any team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then they go in and Mitch Marner, not Lindholm.
Oh.
Marner was watching the puck.
He did a lot of that.
Well, no, when you're talking overtime, 7th game.
Yeah.
It's a mistake. No puck in the history of the NHL has ever scored itself.
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable.
So it's only a player who can score, so you have to watch the guy you're told to watch.
Right.
And if you look at what happened, Lindholm passes the puck off of the sideboards. Mana's watching the puck.
And here comes...
And Pasta comes around him. Now, we also had
But you know what, Al? That was the kind of goal that was lacking for Pasternak because he was having to continually fight the puck.
Yeah,
all,
but that
all
was,
series long, he seemed like
let's
he was
be honest
fighting the
about
puck.
it. That was as lucky a
Oh,
thing
no
situation
doubt, but you know
because
what?
it came off the backboards
But you know
incidentally,
what?
right back
I give
to him.
Pasta 100% credit for hustling to go get it.
No, I don't think so. I think he saw that Mana wasn't there, and when that
Well,
puck
he
got off
hustled
there,
to it.
he did, but he always hustles.
Yeah.
And the fact that
The
Montgomery called him out is wrong. The guy
really?
scored 47 goals, 61 last year.
Wow.
He's an up and down player. They had two guys on him. They're hitting him all over the place.
Yeah.
So if you want to say something to him, that's between you and me. You don't do it in the press. This is
Oh,
what
but he said
Cassidy.
he did do that.
No. He said it in the press.
Before he said that.
But that's not the point. The point is that's between him and Pasta.
Okay.
And you don't bring it out in the press because that was the question everybody asked Pasta. Oh, how did you feel about that?
Well,
you got to give him credit.
Al, neither here nor there at this point because you know what? Pasta saved his butt. If they had lost, Al, I wager I would offer that Jim Montgomery would have been gone. Don Sweeney might have been gone.
No, well,
Cam Neely might have been gone.
Neely and Sweeney
DeBrusque,
would not.
a lot of these guys, Grizzlick. How many jobs did he save with that?
He saved one big one, and that was Montgomery because what's his name? Sweeney's not going anywhere, and Cam Neely's not going anywhere. What they would say is you're a coach that had the best team record last year and lost in the first round, and you're playing a team that finished 2 slots below you, and you lost at home 3 times.
So he was redeemed. I thought the season was redeemed and saved, and now you see that energy.
Well, no,
I thought I saw a little bit of that energy.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because this is the big argument. The Bruins played Friday and win, come back and play Monday?
Saturday. They played Saturday.
They played Saturday and won, and then they play Monday with the
Correct.
day off.
Well, it's not a day off. They had to travel to get that.
Well, I say a day off, meaning they didn't play the next day,
Right.
and then on Monday night they come out. Florida had won their series against Tampa.
They had a week off.
Had a week. So the big question is it better to keep playing or to have time off in between? And to me, it looked like the Panthers, although they scored the first goal,
We're playing on their heels.
didn't have the same that they had before. Now, I think tonight you're going to see, first of all, I think the Panthers are going to come out tonight. I'll tell you, the hitting in the NHL in playoffs is so different from during the
ferocious.
regular season, and I don't know
ferocious.
if that's a fair thing to have happen. In other words, you build a team to win over 82 games, okay, the way the Bruins did, okay, without major hitting.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you come into the playoffs and for, let's throw it out, you win 16 games to get to the final. Every one of those games, the guys are hitting every shift.
Yeah.
And the Bruins don't have that type of ability that got them there. They're not a hitting team.
Well, I would push back on you on that. I like Brazo. I think he can hit.
Brazo.
I think Lori hits. I think Carlo hits.
No. When you talk about hit, I'm talking
Pat
about
Maroon.
real hitting. They got Pat Maroon.
Yeah.
They got Trent Frederick.
Yes.
Brazo is a big kid and everything,
Oh, but he hits people.
He hits, but it's not what you're looking for. On defense, Hampus Lindholm has been lucky because he had a good game in terms of passing offense.
And he had a great goal.
Yeah,
too.
offense, but he's been a liability on defense.
On defense.
Grizzlick is gone at the end of the year. There's no question about that. I don't know why Danton Heinen's
Shattenkirk.
not playing. I don't know. Shattenkirk gives you,
I think he gives you some stability on the
well,
penalty.
it gives you experience. You've got guys. Look at Pat Maroon won 3 Stanley Cups with 3 different teams. Okay, you got Shattenkirk who won a Stanley Cup with Tampa.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the formula's been there for years. Old and
veteran.
young.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because the veterans give you stability, they give you experience, they give you a lot of things that the kids don't give you. They should give you the energy over here, and
But I like
Folks,
this. I like the size of these guys. Beecher. You've got Lori.
I'll tell you what Beecher can give you. draws.
Yeah.
He's the probably, I mean, Coyle has been so-so on the draws, probably the best of the older group, but Beecher can win in your offensive zone or so much in the defensive zone you need him because the other team's shooting at your net. But look at, they will not go any further if they don't check and hit.
Right.
And that's where I have a problem. Now, Swayman, by far, has been the reason why they're where they are.
So at this point, you're riding Swayman the rest of the way. Do you give him a rest?
Question.
Do you give him a rest?
Well, I was asked that question the other day by a
I would
friend,
give him
and
a
I
rest
said I
tonight.
would have started.
I would have given him a
I
rest.
would have started Ullman. Well, the only reason why I would have started Ullman was because you
Omar.
Huh? Olmark. The only reason why you would have is because they have to win one of the two down. Have to win one of the two. If they win two, you're Hosanna in the highest. But they have to win one of the two. I figured Florida was going to come out gangbusters in game one.
I thought the Bruins would be skating in quicksand.
Could have been. Yeah. So I say, if they came out that way and they won the first game, we come back with Swayman in the second, he gives us a better chance. Conversely, I was wrong because Swayman won that game for them, even though they won 5-1.
Oh, no doubt.
There were 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, they were on him. Yeah.
Yeah, so
they're putting pucks on him.
That score wasn't indicative of the game.
But you know who was conspicuously silent in game one was Carter Verhaeghe.
Well,
I don't know that he put very many pucks on net.
You've got Reinhardt, you've got Verhaeghe, you got the other kid though didn't play. He's a terrific player. I can't think of his name. But anyways, tonight will be an interesting game because if the Bruins get buried 5-1, that's a big plus for Florida coming because the Bruins haven't played well at home. Let's be honest about it. So they lost 2 to Toronto and 3.
If Swayman loses 5-1, do you come back with Omar?
No. I think it depends because you got to watch and see. Was it the goalie's fault or was it defense's fault? Stuff like that.
I'd go back to the rotation here.
No, I wouldn't go back to the rotation strictly, but I will say you got to put Ullman in there at some point.
You got to give Swayman a.
But if they win this game, you'll see Ullman playing at
first game
in Boston. Yeah, because now they're up 2.
Well, and then he's been.
Let's not forget he was a Vezina Trophy winner last year. He's a decent goaltender.
And this will be Swayman's 7th consecutive game.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing about playoffs. You think about it. Bruins won the last time they won the cup was because of Tim Thomas, who played the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, he was just terrific.
And they went
I mean, you can go through every time somebody wins, it's because a goaltender was defense and goaltending wins.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would go to a strict, changeover, but I think if they go up 2 in Florida and they're coming home, they got to win one of those 2.
I bet you they've kind of sketched out that scenario where they would have that in place. So,
but you know what? If you think about it, what I like about what they've done, guys that don't normally scored. Lorai, this kid is going to be a player.
Yes. Oh man, yeah.
I mean,
that goal he scored. What a snipe! I think I texted you, didn't I? On that one?
Well, I'll tell you why he's going to make this team is because Montgomery likes defensemen who are offensive,
who can handle puck,
and that's what he can do.
Yeah.
He's a good passer. He's a good skater.
I think what it does, it takes the pressure off everybody.
Now the problem with that is when you go deep and you get beat, you got a 2-on-1 unless somebody's coming back and the layers are there.
Yeah.
Now, Brandon Carlo's goal, it was kind of interesting in a way because Laurie's goal was right over the kid's shoulder.
Yeah.
But Bobrovsky's a great goaltender. But that puck went right over his shoulder. Great shot. That's
blocker side.
Not goalie's problem. That's a great shot.
Yeah.
Brandon Carlo went right over his left shoulder.
Glove, yeah.
Now, the only goal that I thought he screwed up on was Brazeau's goal because Brazeau came in on him and went 5-hole.
And then deked him and went backhand.
Yeah. But that's
That was a gorgeous goal, Al.
well, it was a good goal.
Yeah.
But if you asked Borowski after the game, he'd say, I should have stopped that one.
Yeah.
The other two,
Oh, yeah.
he didn't have a chance on. The open goal by DeBrusque wouldn't have mattered.
No,
I mean,
no.
But, hey,
It was unbelievable. And Al, you know, the thing that had Boston all abuzz wasn't the Bruins, wasn't the Celtics, it wasn't even the Red Sox. It was the Tom Brady roast, Al. Unbelievable. Did you watch that?
I think it was the worst and most disgusting and stupid thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, you were appalled by.
You can't say the things that they said with
It's a
kids.
roast, Al.
But what kids watching?
Oh no, I don't know that kids were watching.
Kids were watching that. People watch it. Tom Brady is an idol to a lot of people.
And
They went way over the
Do
line.
you think he came down a peg?
Edelman went way over the line.
No, Gronk.
Well,
Gronk.
and Gronk.
Edelman took it to Belichick comes out, you know, and
the stuff with Giselle over the top.
well, you know what though, Tom Brady knew that going in.
Well, yeah, but
He knew that
she was
going
all
in.
upset, and the Kardashian thing was
Oh,
great. And then the girl, the blonde there, the comedian.
Oh,
who I've
Nikki
seen,
Glaser.
She can be funny, but she was way over the
that.
top.
She is. That's what she is.
But you know, roast.
Well, the one thing that they like went to the line and didn't go over the line because Brady got up was when Jeff Ross, the Toastmaster.
He was another idiot.
Oh yeah, well he was going to go down the Asian orchid, and Brady got up out of his chair and said, no, we're not talking about that.
Somebody mentioned the massage.
Yeah.
With that craft.
Or what was bad.
And then
what was
even
really
Belichick.
bad.
Belichick, see, to me, that one wasn't as bad about him saying to Guerrero. Somebody said you butt heads with Tom. He said, well, it's very hard to do that because Tom's
And
head was always up Guerrero's rear end.
yeah.
And he said the words and all that.
Yeah, Guerrero was laughing about that.
But that's not bad. That's not the other stuff.
You're thinking that it should have been more in line with the Dean Martin roast.
It was a little X-rated.
It was.
And you know what? I look at it this way: if it was private, and not private, but like a Dean Martin roast,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
But when it's for a guy like Brady, look at.
So
You
let
know-
me ask you in the 20 seconds that we have here, what did you make of that tequila shot that Belichick and Kraft shared on the stage?
Oh, you know what? I think
Is
people
is the hatchet buried?
No, I don't think the hatchet would ever be buried.
No,
I
don't either.
I think Belichick really believes that Kraft, who's a businessman, screwed him.
Yeah. All righty. Well, anyways, it was a lot of interesting things were said. I was laughing out loud at some of them, but at any rate, we want to thank you for spending your time with us here, and we look forward to meeting up with you next time here on Stepping Up to the Plate. So long, everybody.